Me and a fellow Minecraft YouTuber named Deco had a building battle. The rules were we could spend 30 minutes and we had to build either a house or a base of some sort. We could use anything we wanted and we were in creative mode. We are both pretty inexperienced at building, so I thought it would be interesting to see what we come up with. We had our fans vote to see who had the better build, and stick around to the end to see the completed builds and the poll results. I'm on the top of your screen and Deco's at the bottom. We both started with very different approaches. My strategy off the gate was I wanted to grab a bunch of different building blocks and get my inventory all set up, so that way I didn't have to keep looking for different items every 2 minutes, but unfortunately I ended up having to look for new items all the time anyways. It took me about 2 minutes to fill up my inventory before I even started placing my first block. I accidentally dropped a bucket of water on the ground, so I needed to find an empty bucket to pick it back up, which was a pain in my butt, and I lost about 30 seconds there. So first thing I went to do was I built a pond. I wanted to make sure I had at least a little bit of decoration outside of my house. I dropped a few fish in. And now Deco, on the other hand, his strategy was to build a giant lava tower and make it into cobblestone, which made his build a lot bigger than mine, but also cost him a lot of time. He chose to build it really high up, and it made it so that it would take a long time for the lava to fall. At this point, I wanted to get started on the base layer of my house. I didn't know what color I wanted to do at first, so I was going to try to do some kind of different green pattern. But I was very nervous and under a lot of pressure, so I didn't quite know what I wanted to do. So I kept changing my mind in the middle of the build. I also had no idea how big I wanted the house to be, but I wanted it to be big enough so that I could do a different color on the inside than I'm doing on the outside, so that way when you walk inside it looks completely different and it kind of gives you a different feel, like, wow, is this even the same building? At this point we're about 6 minutes in and I'm just getting started on the house. After I'd done a few layers with different shades of green, I decided I wanted something that contrasted the green well, so I went with a pink, because I think pink and green work well together. Now I started to work on my floor, so I wanted to do a checkerboard pattern, so I decided to just do black and white back and forth throughout the whole floor. It took me a few minutes to destroy the entire floor and place everything. Now I started working on my roof. I didn't have any idea of what I wanted to do. I just know I wanted a combination of solid blocks and stairs to make a kind of slope shaped. I decided to use glowstone as the final layer of the roof so that way it would light up the interior for me, and I wouldn't need a bunch of extra lighting to make it look nice on the inside. Now that I was done with the structure of my house, I wanted to make a little bit of decoration on the outside. So I made a little path that leads to my pond, and I also placed down some trees and hid them with some bone meal. After that, I started to work on the inside. I wanted to make some basic decorations so that it looked nice when you walked in. I started with a table with 2 chairs, and I put a little bit of a light over it. At this point, I was running out of time, and my place was barely decorated. I wanted something big that would catch your eye, so I decided to make an aquarium right in the center of my house. We now only had a couple minutes left on the clock, so I was in the final home stretch, so I did the last little bit of decorating I needed to do around my house with whatever time I had left. But this brings us to the end of the 30 minutes. I want you to go into the comments and tell me which build did you like more, Deco's or Buck's. Also, the pinned comment will include Deco's point of view for this video, so make sure you go and watch that. And as promised at the beginning of the video, here is the poll results.